So as we still think about operational efficiency, and it's from a foundation and the fundamentals for success, how do you build a foundation for operations, automation, and data to support responsible growth for your organization?
For me, it's literally what you just said, Neil. It's everything around operational efficiencies. When I start seeing that shift, I will hyper focus on, and anybody who's worked with me before will tell you this, on automation. How do I continue to do more with less? Because I could see that I'm probably not going to get the headcount growth I want or desire in the following quarters, especially if this trend continues. So I really look at what are all the things that we're doing as an organization? What are all the touch points across our systems and operations that I can further automate that's going to drive more productivity in the field so they can focus more time on selling? That period is really key for us so that when we come out of this, we have a better, scalable, repeatable business that we can grow on.
Yeah, and just to chime in from a related angle, and 1000% support Lisa's comments around operational efficiency, just a maniacal, unrelenting focus on automation. I think that's so well said and brings a smile to my face and probably everybody on this line, right? It just warms your heart just a little bit. You're like, yes. The other part that Lisa and I talked about as we were kind of thinking about this session today was there's internal efficiency around tools and automation and process. It's also another very good opportunity to look at efficiency or productivity of your revenue organization. So, to Neil's point, as he was kicking us off, yeah, we're definitely in an interesting market. We are seeing, changes, whether it is in certain areas of the business. We don't know quite yet in a lot of ways what the outlook will be. But for us as operations leaders, this is an amazing time to say, where are we at from a productivity perspective? Let's just start with our organization. Start with sellers, and then you can kind of work up the stack of all those support teams as well. But start with your sellers and say, where are we at from a productivity perspective? This is the moment, if you haven't yet, like baseline productivity, really understand, what does your predictable engine look like? What's the shape of your predictable engine? And analyze those gaps and really dive into productivity across your roles, in your organization. And it's like you're taking a lens that is it 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, whatever it is, 24 months, whatever that is, you're taking that lens of where do we want to be in that period in the future? You're standing on stage at your next kickoff or, whatever your next milestone is. What's the productivity or efficiency of your sellers, of your SEs, of your CS teams, et cetera? So I think wonderful time to focus on productivity as well. And we may go deeper into some of those areas depending on some of your questions, but have a lot of passion around that topic for sure.
Yeah, I love everything that Ann just said, because that's so key when you want to get out of this economic interesting moment. I'm not going to call it a downturn. I'm going to call it an interesting moment. When you get out of this interesting moment, you're really going to have a very good grasp of how your sellers and their surrounding counterparts act or behave, or what your conversion ratios. And then you're going to be able to build a strategy on top of that to make sure that it continues to scale when you get out of this interesting moment. It's going to give you all the insight you need to help arm your leaders with how we should be going to market in this next phase. To do that, though, it's a really good opportunity if you haven't defined a strategy plan to dive into it head first and define a strategy plan. Because at this time, you want to make data-based decisions. You don't want to go anecdotal. You want to don't go with gut feels. You really want to be very maniacal on data-based decisions, because that's only going to arm you and your leaders to make more knowledgeable decisions moving forward.
And second, 1000%, double thumbs up, triple thumbs up. Wait, I have 2 thumbs. Double thumbs up to what Lisa was saying, because I think the really, really valuable point that she's making around data-driven decisions and, linking that to productivity, you can, like I said, if you haven't baselined your organization or you want to do a little refresh or you're tracking against areas, just roll up the sleeves and get in there. It's activity tracking. So meetings, outbounds, calls, it's role dependent, right? So commercial and enterprise and strategic will have different activities, but know what those are and baseline those. And to Lisa's point, where are you seeing some, some important kind of upward trends, and where are you seeing some challenging performance, and really get close to that. And so it's not just attainment, but it's other metrics around ASPs, win rate, deal size, activities. And it's also a good time, just on this topic too, to benchmark a bit. To operations professionals on the line, if you haven't had an opportunity to either do that recently, or maybe in the role that you're in, it just hasn't, you've got a ton of different priorities, right? If it hasn't been one of those that's bubbled up, it's a very, very good moment to sort of benchmark. And there's lots of, external firms and things that can help with that as well, and really see where you're at amongst your peers, and then go get it, whether it's 6 months, 12 months, 18, whatever it happens to be.
Right. And in order for you guys to do that, right, you got to make sure that your sales reps are doing the right things inside their CRM. That's key, or you're not going to get the data output that you need. So it kind of goes back to what we were talking about earlier as it relates to operational efficiencies, right? All of that plays together so that you can come out much stronger than you guys were going in.
Yep.
I'm totally loving this. This is spoken as true RevOps practitioners. For those of you that are taking notes at home, here's what I'm hearing in terms of your takeaways. So we talked about the foundations for your operations. I'm hearing predictive analysis. I'm hearing baselining your productivity. Understanding, benchmark your data. What's your speedometer in your processes? Are you doing well? Are you maximizing what you want? Behavior, trend analysis, gap analysis. While these are big words, but there's something meaningful to these. So enough of that. We gave some really beautiful examples, but I'm thinking, Ann,